people have questions. They want to know, especially when they see somebody of note with a platform who, you know, by every measure looks successful. The first question is how? I think this podcast, first and foremost, gives us an opportunity to hear from folks. You know, we're going to be taking, you know, questions from listeners who are going through some things and just need a little advice. They want to hear from people in conversations, and folks are looking for a place where they can just they can hear stories. You know, I mean, what I realize is like by sharing some of these stories, you know, it always taps into something from somebody else. People, you know, they want to hear some honest kind of conversation about how people are working it through. And we don't have all the answers, you know. I mean, this show isn't about us being experts at anything other than the lives that we've lived. But what we do have are a lot of opinions.
I don't see it, bro. I genuinely don't see it. Me personally, I don't see how this is going to be successful. I know a lot of people. We had this debate last night on After Hours. And listen, if I'm proven to be wrong, then I'll eat that. I'll take it. I'll take my L. And I am always willing to come back to the front of the congregation and say, you know what? The appeal and the greatness of Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, her brother, who she looks exactly like him. He's just a bigger version of her and a bald head version of her. And if the appeal and she's able to translate these shorter, impactful, however many subscribers that she has on Instagram and you know, her popularity that came from the greatness from a Democrat side, and I'm not even saying that he was that great of a president, but his ability to orate, his communication expertise, if that translates into this being successful, then I will eat my words. But I do not think that any of these people truly understand what it means to be a great content creator. As a matter of fact, she had a podcast before, and I think that it was with Spotify, and they gave her a whole bunch of money and they gave her a bag, and it was not successful. And so, you know, I understand that. I was even off on this, and we're going to go through the numbers in a minute. I was off on, I was off on what I thought the initial numbers was going to be, right? Because I thought the first numbers to get it started was going to pop, and then it was going to taper off, and it was going to go into, you know, oblivion or whatever. Similar to LeBron James' wife podcast. You know, that was absolute trash, and it had some initial visibility because people wanted to see what it was about. It didn't do really good numbers, but we thought, or a lot of people, not even me, a lot of people thought, and I was like, yo, kill this is trash. A lot of people thought that it was going to translate from her Instagram or something like that over to YouTube. People don't realize that YouTube don't discriminate. It does not care about your little TikToks and your shorts or anything like that. YouTube is its own beast. It's its own animal, long form content. You're going to have to actually be entertaining. You got to be engaging. People don't understand it, don't understand the algorithm or whatever, and it could be as saturated as you want it to be. 1 million people can jump on YouTube all at the same time. The cream is going to rise to the top, and the people that are entertaining or know how to communicate effectively as well as give you some insight, information, and understanding, and it's not just a popularity contest, those are the ones that's going to win. I've seen people, no matter how popular they are, rise and fall. I do not see how this is going to appeal. I know people, oh, black women, we gonna see. We'll see.
Hence the name.
In my opinion, IMO.
Oh my God. Get out of here. Come on, man. Y'all not about to be sitting here playing no games with me, dog. Get the heck out of here, bro.
My sister, Michelle Obama, and we're doing this podcast together, and it's really
Must be bored.
exciting to be working with you on this project.
Some people react like, you're doing a podcast with your brother.
Why would you do that?
I know, really. But our dynamic is so, in my view, unique. I think there are plenty of siblings who have great relationships.
Mhm.
But, I think when we think back to where that came from, I think about just the physical closeness that we had. I mean, we weren't wealthy.
Right.
And Dad was working class. We lived in the same apartment our whole lives and had to grow into that. And as a result, you and me, we were physically close growing up.
Remember when we used to share a bedroom?
Of course, that was our life growing up.
Hey guys, remember when we used to share a bedroom like every other black family that was raised in the hood that didn't have privilege, but that was sort of middle class, but maybe had two parents in the household? Hey, remember when we had to share a bedroom? Oh, God.
We shared the same room until you went to high school, right?
That's right.
Well, let's first just recall how small the apartment we lived in. It seemed like it was huge, but it was essentially 2 bedrooms, right?
No, it was 1 bedroom.
Well, that little offshoot bedroom that Mom and Dad stayed in, you would consider that a bedroom.
But that was the only bedroom. The room we were in was actually the living room. And the living room what we called the living room was actually the dining room.
Huh. Okay. All right. So that's how small it was.
That's how small
we had
it
to turn
was,
it into something else. But the biggest room was always ours.
Yes.
And we were little, like baby littles.
Like 5 and 3.
The twin beds were head to head with like an end table in between.
And we had matching spreads.
Yeah, that Mom made.
Come on, y'all. Hold on. Come on, y'all. I can't wait to bring this back to the front of the congregation tomorrow. When we talk about this on After Hours, we're gonna have the same people that we have yesterday, and we're gonna get into it. And I'm telling you, my prediction is right. If you're telling me that them talking about whether or not they were in the bedroom or all of this other type of stuff, if you telling me that this is what's hidden, I know they got another episode with Issa Rae or something like that, but come on, bro. I look at it like this. The interviews are going to have to hit, number one, just from observing this, objectively. Removing my bias for conservatives versus liberals and just looking at it purely from a content creation perspective, the interviews are going to have to hit. But when you have to depend on interviews in order to really have great content, that is a problem. It is 100% a problem. Let me see if I can stomach any more of this, and then we're going to draw a conclusion, and then I'm going to give you what my final thoughts are.
They were these big, bold stripes, and the twin beds were up against the wall, and she had the concept of creating like these little padding boards.
Yes.
She was so crafty. So she created these foam pads that she hung along the side to make them decorative, but to also provide us with a little cushion against the wall, which we thought was so cool.
I remember you had a bed guard because you were so little.
Yeah, I sort of remember that, yeah.
You still probably should have been in a crib.
Maybe so, but yeah, I do remember.
You remember that?
You guys would tell me I'd fall out of the bed, start crying, get put back in the bed, and I wouldn't remember anything about it.
You wouldn't remember any of it, and everybody else would be wide awake, and you'd be snoring.
I didn't snore. Now you're making stuff.
But then from there, we went to, and I'm trying to remember what age, when our grandfather, Southside, built us this
partition
wall. So then we had our own bedrooms in that same room.
Yeah.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it, man. I can't. This will probably be the second to the last time that I actually review one of these videos, unless they say something that actually go viral. I don't think that they'll say anything that'll go viral because they're boring and they're safe, and that's not what people want. They want to actually get a real life opinion and not a partition. I can't. I'm out of it. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. If you think it's going to be great, you aligning with me. If you think it's going to be trash, if you aligning with me. If you think it's going to be great and you aligning with the people that's saying that they couldn't wait for this to come on time. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Unless they forcing this, you know, and the algorithm is just gonna force Michelle Obama to be visible or something like that. I can't at all.